Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we always love talking about organizations that support those who serve and their families, our military service members. That's why we're excited to be talking about Airpower Foundation, and we're honored to have with us Melissa Dabi, Executive Director of Airpower Foundation. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me here today and giving us this opportunity to share about AirPower and all the awesome things we're doing out in the community.
Well, you are doing a lot, so we have a lot to talk about, and we have a lot to celebrate as well. And so let's start out with a little bit of that celebration with some history and some context, because you're celebrating 25 years, 25th anniversary. So give us some background on Airpower Foundation.
Wow, that is just an accomplishment in itself to be serving our military for 25 years. That's just an incredible feat. So AirPower Foundation was created by the AirPower Council. So the AirPower Council, back in the day, the Air Force Base was called Carswell, and they were advocates for Carswell. And being a 501c4, they're not able to raise funds. So somebody had a great vision and, really forward thinking and said, you know what, we need to be able to raise some funds to provide services, to provide donations to people and our veterans and our active military who need it. So they created the AirPower Foundation, and here we are today.
When you look at all the different services, it's community outreach, it's education, obviously it's support services, and that's a holistic approach. There's a lot to it. Go ahead and talk about that vision and then start diving into how the magic happens.
Yeah, so I'll just share with you. So our mission or our vision is to serve our past, present, and future military. So our past, that's our veterans, right? And so I don't know how familiar you are with some of the challenges that our veterans face when they come home, but there are quite a few of them. I mean, number one, they're in this great brotherhood or sisterhood, and they have this support system around them 24/7. And then they come home, and we can try to understand and we can listen to their stories, but we're never going to really, truly know the depth of what they experienced. And so it's important to have those community opportunities for them to gather. So we do several of those types of things throughout the year. For example, we sponsor the Armed Forces Bowl here in Fort Worth at the Amon Carter field. And we invite all the Purple Hearts to come, and they have a beautiful time. They're recognized out on the field. They have food and drinks, and they have a great time. And it's wonderful to invite people from the community to come and be part of that so they can begin to understand some of the challenges and hear the stories, right? We need to talk about it. We need to get it out there. So that's some of the things we do with our veterans. But we also provide opportunities through some of our rated partner organizations, service dogs or iBots or cars, really trying to understand what that need is for that individual veteran, and then trying to find the right partner to provide that service to them. And I would say a real big one right now is really the focus on mental health and providing those opportunities for counseling services or retreat services, and not just for the veteran, but also for their families. So we include not only the service members, but their families as well.
When you talk about these sort of services and what it means to the veterans and their families, what's some of the feedback you have a chance to receive?
Oh my gosh, it's life-changing. It's sometimes the matter between life and death for some of these. I mean, I know that's a hard subject and it's heavy, but that's the reality of it. I mean, there are some real challenges that these families are facing, and helping the spouse or the children learning to adapt and to understand what that service, their mom or their dad had experienced, and trying to help that family get knitted back together and surround them with other people that are going through the same things. Because, when you get in a group and you talk about it, you can start to relate and you open up, and then that's when the healing begins to happen.
Talk about collaboration. You collaborate with a ton of other organizations. And when you think about the transition out of the service and the job skills training and some of those pieces, there's a lot of things that you all do in very different ways through collaboration.
Right. I mean, we are only better together. We cannot do everything. We cannot provide every service. We're not the expert in every field. So we have experts who know how to handle PTSD or, some of the other challenges that are facing. We have people who, they have a training program for service dogs. We don't do that. Why would we not go and partner with the experts? Because we want the very best for our military.
When you look at the outreach, the support services, this will play into some of the events as we start kind of heading in that direction and talking about upcoming events. But talk about some of the other things that you all do at Airpower Foundation.
Okay, so I talked about our past a little bit. So let me tell you right now about our present. So we are a big support of our active duty, our guard, really anybody that's in the service, serving at the moment. So we have a really wonderful, and we're honored, honestly, to have this partnership with NAS and JRB here in Fort Worth. Several years ago when COVID happened, and it was challenging for everyone, but specifically people at the base. They asked us, they said, we need our families need some help. And so we created a food bank. And so right now that's still going on. We created that and we supply it. We have some wonderful partners who will donate some of the perishable items like Standard Meats, a great supporter of Airpower Foundation. They provide hamburgers, hot dogs, sausage, things like that are expensive, right? It's hard to get the donations for that one, but also, items for the kids and, food and support. So we really love that opportunity to be able to provide that support and be involved. And they just had their spring fling Saturday and they said, hey, we have a favor. We need 20,000 eggs. So Wanda and I, we went, and mainly Wanda, and Wanda Cox is our board chair for the foundation. And we gathered up 20,000 eggs for them to have their Easter egg hunt on Saturday. And oh my gosh, if you've never seen 20,000 eggs, it's a lot of eggs. But that's what we do. If there's a need, and I talked about this a little bit the other day with at our event, and I've rarely heard the word no. It's okay, there's a challenge. We get our team together. What are we going to do? How are we going to execute to provide that service or that need for that military person or veteran? So that's a little bit about what we do at the base, but we just gave away 3 cars in connection with our partnership with Caliber Collision. And so they went to, I believe all 3 of them went to Fort Hood or Fort Cavazos down a little bit south of us. So we do, like I said, we do a little bit of everything. And then if we focus on our future, it's really providing opportunities for ROTC. We do some scholarship programs there, really, lifting them up, giving them opportunities to present the colors. I mean, those are big deals, and being able to mentor them and just wrap our arms around them. And as they continue to grow up in the ranks and, when they graduate, we're excited to be part of the launch of their future. It's really important. We have to invest in the future of our country and our future military.
This will lead us into the events, and especially when you talk about around the nation, veterans coming in and being a part of what you're doing and corporate support for your events and things from around the nation. Touch on, though, for the lessons that you've learned and for organizations that are working to support veterans in their communities, what are 1 or 2 things that you've learned? And you've kind of touched on around mental health and support services and the power of collaboration, but what are 1 or 2 lessons that you've learned that you would offer as words of encouragement for other organizations in different cities around the U.S. for being intentional to serve our veterans and our active service members and obviously the future as well?
I guess the number one thing I would say is that you can't do it by yourself. You have to find people who are going to rally around you. You have to have a good core. You have to have a great network of volunteers. You have to have people that are bought and sold for the mission. And you have to have the right corporate sponsors. Like Higginbotham is one of our most favorite sponsors because they get in, they help, they do the work. They're bought in. They're not just writing a check to us. They're serving, they're showing up to our events, they're spreading the word for us. So it's finding those right partners that will help further the mission.
So go ahead and start diving into the events because you do have a lot of upcoming events. I know that June Suicide Awareness Walk, you've got that, Patriot Roundup, you've got Skyball later this year. So let's go ahead and start diving into the events.
Yeah, we have a lot going on all the time. But can I just touch really briefly about our past weekend event? We had the Medal of Honor. It was called Celebrate the Brave, and we had some Medal of Honor recipients that came and shared their story. Jeremy Locke was our MC and led a conversation about, their past, their history, what they experienced, and it was just phenomenal. And then to be in the Medal of Honor, the new National Medal of Honor Museum, and to have it there, and was just really an incredible experience to be able to, see history come to life there. It was a great event.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's stay on that, and then we'll bounce to the upcoming events. Because talk about that as a highlight opportunity, because I think this is something, especially from a tourism draw around the world, this is a powerful. When you talk about the National Medal of Honor Museum in Texas, give us a little bit of a teaser on the museum.
Oh, I don't even know, honestly, if I can put it into words. I've been through it 3 times now, I think, and each time I'm just moved to tears. And not just tears of sadness, but tears of, I'm just so honored and proud to be an American, to see the love that these men and women have for me, that they would do these extraordinary things, that I could live in a free country, is just beyond my understanding and comprehension. And it's so humbling. But you are completely transformed as you walk through that place, and the stories, there is so much AI involved. You can actually go into a room and sit down, and there is a Medal of Honor recipient on the screen, and you can ask him any questions and they will respond to you. They answer the questions, and it is unbelievable. You feel like they are right there in front of you. It is pretty incredible. So General Brady's helicopter is inside that museum. I mean, it is just impactful. Everybody should go. Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to learn this history, and we need to, give honor to our heroes.
Absolutely. Well, let's carry that into the event. So
Okay, awesome.
Go ahead and dive in. June Suicide Awareness Walk, Patriot Roundup, Skyball, dive in.
Okay, so this is kind of a funny story. I had this little idea of, that's really the suicide prevention, or the veteran suicide number is, we all know it's 22, but I believe it's probably a lot higher than that. But that is I call it my pain point, or my point of passion. Like, I just am not okay with that number. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this little thing, and I'm going to rally my friends, my network, and we're going to just bring awareness, do a little walk, and raise a few funds, and just bring these stories to the front. Well, it has exploded. So one of our ambassadors or advisors to the board, Ian Shelley, and then our marketing director, Cameron McNutt, they have just been lit on fire for this event. So now it has just turned into a thing. And now we're having a big watch party at Hop and Bar in Fort Worth on June 1st from 3 to 6. And we're going to do our first mile together. We're going to have a wall of honor. We're going to elevate the stories. So throughout the whole month of June, we're encouraging people to go fundraise and really just bring awareness to this issue, and walk 23 miles throughout the month of June. And we want your stories. We want pictures. If there's somebody you would like for us to honor, we want to honor them, and we want to elevate their story. We want their stories known, because they were important. They are important, and we all need to hear about them. So I'm really just touched and moved. We have so many partners coming on board, and it's incredible. Like, I never thought it would be what it is today, and I'm just blown away by it. So it's exciting.
That's a good example of something that anybody from anywhere around the U.S. can be a part of, just like you're talking about, to host their own event, to be a part of this. And so I think that's an easy way for anyone listening or watching to be engaged with Airpower Foundation. Carry that into Patriot Roundup and Skyball.
Yeah, Patriot Roundup this year is July 31st. Super excited about it, because we are going to elevate the stories of Native Americans and their crucial role that they played in our wars. And I can't even, tell you how excited I am about it, because giving them that platform and to elevate their stories in this way to help educate people, because that's really a big part of what Air Power does, is we like to educate. We like the community to know what these men and women have done for us. And this is a great way that we're going to be able to do that. We're going to have some cultural dances and songs. We're going to just be transported to the Native American culture, and we're just super thrilled about what's going to happen on that day, on that night. And then there's a big after party at Rodeo Exchange, and so that's going to be a lot of fun.
And obviously, these are easy ways for those who want to be a part of it to fly in and be a part of the experience in Fort Worth and the Stockyards, which is absolutely
it's historic, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's historic. I mean, who doesn't want to go to the Stockyards and hang out for a little bit and be around some really, really wonderful people? American Hat Co. is one of our biggest sponsors, and we're just so thankful for all they've done for our organization. And it's gonna be a fun night for sure.
Well, I know that you're still working on it, but talk about Skyball so people can go ahead and put that on their calendar and save the date.
Yeah, so Skyball is our big gala, and it is and we're celebrating the 250th birthday of our Army, Navy, and Marines. And so it is going to be a blowout event at Globe Life Field right here in Arlington. I think you can start buying your tickets now. If not, you can always just send me an email or our team an email, and we'll get you on the list. But it is just going to be a celebration like no other, and I think we're going to have a big after party. We'll have maybe a band or two there. That's kind of what we're working on. But we're going to just celebrate what the country has done for us, and it's going to be a big party.
We'll wrap up with website, social media, phone number, email, like you said, reaching out. But how do we connect in with Airpower Foundation? How do we carry this conversation forward?
Yeah, you can find us on all of our socials, just Airpower Foundation. Our website is airpowerfoundation.org. And on that website, you can get all of our contact information. You can sign up for a newsletter. You can become a monthly contributor. You can become a donor. Just reach out to us, and we would love to connect with you.
Makes it easy. Once again, the website, airpowerfoundation.org. Melissa, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's an honor to be here.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.